Hello everyone, this is Baljeet from Dex Tutor, and in this video I'm going to share my experience regarding the RSCSA exam which I have recently cleared with 90% marks. Now while we are preparing for this exam, there are lots of questions that come to our mind regarding the type of environment, the exam setup, and the way the questions are asked and how to attempt them. So in this video I'm going to cover most of these topics so that you are more comfortable and confident for appearing in the exam. So we will cover the exam overview, the remote exam setup, some common questions and some tips from my side.
Alright, so let's start with the overview about the exam, which you might be already aware about, but still I will cover the very basic things. First point is that the exam duration is of 3 hours. So earlier it used to be 2.5 hours, but now because they have added another module on containers, so the exam time has been increased from 2.5 hours to 3 hours. The second point is what are the maximum marks. So the maximum marks for the exam are 300, and to clear you need to score 70% marks. So this means that you need to score somewhere around 210 marks to clear the certification course. Now what do they ask? So the objectives are already listed on the Red Hat website, so you can go through them. I have listed all of these here, so you can go through them one by one. It's very important to understand the objectives from the exam point of view, because they will ask you questions from these objectives itself. So if you are clear what you need to study, then clearing the certification is going to be very simple. Now coming on to what are the requirements for the remote setup. So if you are giving the exam on a center, you need not to bother about the setup, but if you are giving a remote exam, then you need to know a few things that will help you during the exam. Otherwise you might face some challenge while you are going to attempt the exam. So a few things about the exam setup. First, you need a pen drive whose size should be at least 8 GB. I would recommend that you have a pen drive of around 16 GB, but 8 GB will do. Next, the hard drive. So your space in the laptop should be at least 4 GB free, but again I would recommend that you keep 10 GB free. Now if you like to use mouse, then you need to have a wired mouse. No wireless mouse is allowed. Now another very common example is how many webcam do I need? Will the laptop inbuilt webcam be enough? So you will require two webcams. One is obviously the laptop webcam and the other one is external webcams. That's very important. You need to have both the webcams, otherwise you will not be allowed to give the exam. Actually why we need two is because one of the webcams, which is the external one, they're going to use it to scan your entire environment. So make sure there's nothing in the room. They are going to scan every bit of the room or wherever you are sitting while giving the remote exam. Now coming on to the RAM requirement. So you need a minimum of 4 GB RAM, but again here if you can have 6 GB, 8 GB RAM, that will be good enough. The last point is that you need to have a good speed internet. Now some of you like to use the mobile hotspot. That's fine, but sometimes the connection is not stable. Like in my case, it was not stable. So I faced a little bit of challenge during the exam that I will cover later on. So it's good that you have a Wi-Fi connection at home. That will be really useful. Now coming on to the exam itself. During the exam, you need to have an ID proof which they are going to check, and there cannot be any electronic device in the room. So if you are using your mobile for internet connection, you have to keep that outside the room. Alright, and most important, no piece of paper, no helping material, no books, nothing is allowed in the class. Okay, you can take help of manual page, that's it. Alright, so this is all about the requirements of the exam. Now since the exam is going to be a remote exam, you need to set up the environment on your laptop by yourself. Now you need not to worry about that. They mail you once you register before the exam. So I think 5 days or something like this before the exam, they are going to send you a mail which is going to contain a link to a PDF which will detail you everything about the exam. I am also going to show you what the contents of that PDF. It's available on the link that I'm going to share in the description as well. So you can go to that link download the PDF and go through all the requirements in detail, what is required during the exam, before the exam, and how to set up the bootable drive, pen drive, to load the environment of the exam into your system. So first of all, you need to prepare a bootable pen drive for the remote exam, and for that obviously you need a pen drive, and the second thing you need is a Fedora Media Writer. So these are the prerequisites for making a live USB. So all the details about how to set up your pen drive using this Fedora Media Writer are there on that PDF. So it's very important that you go through the PDF very carefully.
To search the PDF, just go to Google and type Red Hat Remote Exam PDF, the very first link here. So click on this and the PDF will open. So here you will find all the instructions. So just I will scroll it down for you. So you can see they're telling you about what are the system requirements, how to download and create the remote exam ISO file, how to boot to the remote exam, how to log in and run a compatibility test. This is very important. You must do this compatibility test once before the exam, so 1 day or 2 days before the exam. If this compatibility test is successful, then you are sure that there will be no problems during the exam. Okay, so and the all this setup also takes around 10 to 15 minutes, so you will come to know that how early you should start setting the environment up on the exam day. Alright, so just scroll through this PDF and you will find everything that you need to know. So what are the system requirements, all the details is here, everything. Okay, how to create the exam bootable. So here it's the download link is there, all the snapshots. So explained everything by taking the relevant snapshots. So you can follow all the steps, whatever system you are using Windows or Linux or Apple, Mac. So they have given instructions for each of them independently. Okay, so I will leave this now up to you to explore this PDF.
Now coming on to the one of the most important points of this video, that is what are the common fears. Like I have come across many people who have lots of questions, how this exam is going to be, what will happen if something goes wrong. So I'm going to cover a few very common questions that come to your mind. The very first common question is how to access the machines. Alright, so you need not to bother. Everything will be there detailed in the environment. Once you log into the system, once you get to the main page of the exam, all the instructions are there. You just need to read them. Okay, another common experience here is that people or the students generally don't read the instructions. Even I skipped it in the very beginning, but later on I realized that I need to go through the instructions and every single thing was there in the instruction. Okay, so once you log in with your username and password, then you will get an interface. It's a graphical interface, so need not to bother. Okay, very first page or very first window that you see, there will be a set of instructions. Read those instructions and they will clearly contain what steps you need to follow to get to the machines. Okay, so there will be multiple machines. Both the machines are independently accessible. Just do one important thing, read the instructions. That's it. The second question is, what if I get disconnected? Because you are using internet, it's quite possible that the connectivity gets lost for a moment or something. So need not to bother. Whatever you are doing gets saved, but you might not get the time that you have lost. So these instructions will be clearly told to you by the proctor. So there's a proctor, he will tell you all the instructions in detail. Okay, you can ask him certain questions regarding all these things. What if I get disconnected, and how to reconnect, how to reach to you, or how can the proctor reach back to you. So all this discussion is held with the proctor before the exam. So he will pretty much, or he or she will pretty much detail you how to manage if something gets wrong. Okay, now the third point is, Is the progress saved? Right, yes, so it is saved. Whatever you do is immediately saved. All right, so even if you get disconnected, not an issue, you will start from where you left. Okay, it happened with me. I got disconnected, the net got disconnected, I had to reset everything, but whatever portion I have done, whichever questions I have done were there, so I could start immediately from that point. Next is how to get help. So again, like I told you, there is a proctor. He will help you in general things but nothing related to the exam. So if you ask him certain doubt related to the question, then he is not going to help you, but if you have certain issues with the setup, then he will be there to guide you. So he will be guiding you throughout the exam whenever you require any kind of help. Now another question in terms of help from the system is, can I use the manual page? Yes, you can use the manual page. Alright, you have the entire Linux with you, you can use whatever you want except for net or any other reading material. Now the last thing is, where are the questions shown? Okay, so the questions are on the same interface. There's a list of questions, you click on them one by one, a detailed question will open up and then you can attempt on the particular machine for which that particular question is. Alright, everything is crystal clear. The only point is that you need to read the instructions very carefully. Alright, second, listen to what the proctor says. If you have any doubt, to ask the proctor. Now a little more about the exam. How many questions are there? Alright, so I can't remember how many were there, but there were like 20 plus questions. There's not fixed number, I think, because I have also searched a lot before the exam, so no one gave a fixed number, and you need not to bother, you need to cover all the topics. Alright, so there will be one question at least from every objective. Right, there will be around 20 plus questions. Now next is, how complex are these questions? To be very frank, they are pretty straightforward. If you know the very basics of each of the objective, whatever topics, subtopics are mentioned, it will be pretty straightforward for you to clear the exam. Alright, they are not here to check the complexity, they are here to check the basic understanding. This is the first level, right, of the entire stack of certifications. So the questions are going to be pretty straightforward. If you have the basic understanding, you will be able to clear it very easily. Now this one is asked by a lot of students, any particular topic to focus upon. Again, I will emphasize, they are going to ask you at least one question from each of the objectives. Now while I was preparing for the certification exam, I also went through a lot of material online. So what I found is, there are certain questions which everyone is sharing, question related to LVM or partitioning and even containers. So you can expect questions from these topics. These are a bit obvious, right? Now last thing is how to set up the network. Okay, this is another point which continuously comes to your mind. Even this was I was also worried about this thing. How will I manage to set up the network? What if something goes wrong? The entire network will not be configured, then it might affect a lot of questions which depend upon the network settings. If you understand the concept of NMCLI, you know how to create connections, how to modify connections, then this particular question will be very straightforward to you. Alright, because in network what you can do, either they can ask you to create a connection or modify a connection, that's it. So you do these two things, you need to focus upon while preparing. Alright, the entire exam setup or the entire environment is exactly same as the environment you are practicing upon, right? So if you are familiar with how to use the terminal, the command line on your particular system, it's going to be the same. Okay, so nothing is different. If you have the practice, if you know the concepts, everything is going to fall in place. Okay, now so what in particular I did to score 90% marks? The very first thing that I did was practice a lot. So once you have covered the syllabus, you think that yes, you have gone through it once, fine. After that, at least keep a gap of 15 to 20 days between the exam. On each day, at least practice for 1 hour. Even if you know the particular concept. Let's suppose you are we talk about the swap space management. So you know what are the steps for swap space management, but still at least on every alternate day you have to do that. Why I'm saying this is going to give you a flow during the exam. Now what happened with me was, I think I was into just 15 or 20 minutes into the exam that the network got disconnected. What I have to do was I have to reload the entire setup into the system again, which takes around 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so but since I knew all the logic, all the concepts, I was very confident that even if I spend 10-15 minutes, it's not going to matter. And that same thing happened. Because I have practiced a lot, I could attempt those questions in bare minimum time. I completed the exam in 2 hours. Despite that I have to reset it during the exam, still I was able to do it in 2 hours only. Okay, so that's why practice comes in handy. You are able to finish those questions in very less amount of time. Now the second point, which I have already repeated I think twice or thrice, take your time to understand the instructions and the environment. If you're a little slow in understanding the things, no issues. You take 5 minutes, you take 10 minutes, you take 15 minutes, but you understand what they want to tell you about how to attempt the questions, how to set up the environment, or how to use the environment, I would say. What are the passwords, when to use them, how to use them, what is the password for each user. Read each instruction carefully. You need not to memorize them. You can come back to the instructions whenever required. Okay, but at least go through them once so that you know that whenever you come back, where to look for the particular thing that that is bothering you at that point of time. Okay, so go through the instructions very carefully. Last, do not panic at any time. If you know everything, 3 hours is more than enough. You can attempt the test twice in the 3 hours. Never ever panic during the entire exam. Alright, I already told you that I have to reset the environment altogether. No issues, you can do it, there's not a problem. Okay, now before I end, one final thing. What if something goes wrong? Alright, so you have done, let's suppose 5-10 questions, and now somehow you mess with the default environment. For example, let's suppose you are attempting the LBM questions and by mistake you create a partition. Let's suppose there was a question to create a partition of 10 MB or 10 GB, but you created of 20 GB. Now you have wasted 10 GB space and you don't know how to remove that or to recover that. So the only option left is what? Reset. Not reboot, reset. Okay, no issues, you can do that. Okay, it's going to happen within minutes, but again, whatever you have done till that point, that will be lost. With the reset, the problem is whatever you have done will be lost. Okay, you have to attempt again. So try to avoid that. If there is certain doubt, you leave that question, you can come back to that later. Okay, but don't try to attempt that in a flow. You want to skip something, you can. I've seen a lot of videos where they tend to tell you what is the order in which you should attempt. I didn't follow any order, I just followed the sequence in which the questions were given, and I never faced any problem during the exam. Alright, all the questions are more or less independent. Right, so this is all about the exam. You still have any questions, do ask them in the chat section and I will clarify all those doubts to the best of my knowledge. Now what is next is that I'm going to come up with videos as per the objectives. Now all the content in those videos will be exam oriented. So whatever I'm going to cover, I'm going to focus how the questions on that particular topic are asked from or during the exam. So there will be a lot of practice scenarios that you can go through. I'll give you sample questions also that you can do it on your own and then check the answers also whether you are doing them correct or not. Alright, so do stay tuned, to subscribe if you have not done so far, and I'm sure that after watching these videos I can guarantee that if you follow whatever I have discussed and whatever I will discuss during those lectures, you will certainly be able to clear the exam.